This week's episode of the Indian Dots podcast, we have discussed quite a few things. So what are confinement centres for people in Malaysia? That's Goran's big question. Tattoos, why they're bad. Why having numerous alarms can annoy men. Very important topic, worth discussing. And Goran, I think I'm missing one thing. Oh yeah, why jet lag is a real thing and it also pisses you the fuck off. Got to consider these things. Anyway, catch you on the other side. Listen to the very end of the podcast because you'll hear a mini rant from Goran that you don't tend to hear very often. You'll understand when you get there. Cheers. What is happening, people? Hello, Sasikal. Hi, nice to meet you. Good to see you. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Welcome, Indian Dots podcast. You're here, we're here, and I'm saying, Goran, what's happening?
Jazz. You haven't done that in a while. I feel like you need to serenade me.
You wish it was that, man. You wish people were doing this about you. Huh. Jazz.
I like it when you do it. I think there'll come a point where we'll walk on stage to a live podcast and people will be going, there's jazz. And there's Indy. Sad Indy.
The devil.
It's always the one.
Yeah.
So, what is happening? Well, you can hear from my voice. It's not optimal. And I'm just today recovering back to sounding a bit normal. But on the Dr. Chronicles today, I'll be sharing some stuff about the common cold and sepsis and all that kind of cool, interesting stuff you must know about.
Good timing.
But apart from that, I did some archery on the weekend. I think I mentioned it last week on the podcast. But we did the fencing. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, really close to home. Hampstead School, where I used to play hockey, actually. Played for Barford Tigers Hockey Club many, many years ago. So that took me back as well. They were having a training session, like right next to us. Outdoor archery, right? So we get there and you've got like these pros. You have all this pro gear, Legolas level, right? You're shooting. They don't shoot like the thing doesn't aim straight. They aim like up like this because they're shooting far. And they have a person on like kind of sight who's looking at it's proper distance shooting.
Oh, wow.
Like, then we obviously go to the beginner thing. Now, archery is one of those things. Have you done it before? At any level?
I think so, but I just want to say, this is your like Lord of the Rings wet dream. You get to be Legolas.
Yeah,
So who doesn't want to be Legolas?
See, from a visual perspective, obviously I'm labelled as Gimli quite a lot, but axe is not my it's not my given or chosen weapon of choice, right? But I'm more of an Aragorn in terms of leadership, and I like using a sword. But I like the idea of being an archer as well. Robin Hood, Legolas, obviously being sick, that's a big thing for us as well. And Gataka and Shastra Vidya, which I also have done, which you didn't know, but you're finding out recently that I did like Gataka in the past.
Yes.
One thing I didn't explore was archery. And so, I asked you, have you done archery before?
I think I have, but I can't remember doing it properly. So assume no.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So most people kind of done it probably like on a stag weekend or an activity weekend. It's that type of
exactly
arena, or you'll do it in, but it'll only be for a little bit. And as soon as you're getting a bit warm, you have to stop. So I was like, okay, we're gonna actually do some proper archery, get some coaching as well. Went with Jamie, PT, and it was just really good, man. Like we just so many eye-opening things. Like you don't have to close your eyes. Which muscles to use? Where do you bring the bow up to? So it's like to the corner of your face here. Not
what do you mean close your
eyes? So when you shoot, some people will do like this. And they'll close one of their eyes. Like when you shoot a gun.
Oh, single eye.
It's going to be a bit more accurate.
Yeah.
No, not both your eyes, man. Bloody hell. That'd be a bit dangerous.
That's what I was on about.
Guys, so I'm just gonna close my eyes now and just
Yeah.
When you get there, they ask like trick questions. What is the most dangerous thing here? And the guy looks around and you are the most dangerous thing here because without you, it's just a bow and an arrow. Like, okay, he was a bit extreme. I was like, okay, mate, I get it. So a lot of safety stuff, obviously shooting in the same direction and how to collect your arrows. But yeah, so the really, really cool thing I learned was, so when you draw it back, right? So the position you draw it back to, so you should aim for your index finger to be right next to the corner of your mouth. And you want to make that as consistent as you can. If you start doing and changing here, the difference in the minimal difference here is about 6 inches on the actual target. So you're grouping. You understand the term grouping? You understand what grouping is?
Around the target board?
As in, same with shooting, say my first arrow is here, then a good grouping is that all 6 arrows, even if they're not near the center, they're all next to each other, that's a good grouping. It's a tight grouping. So 1 inch between them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're aiming for grouping. So because he goes, the actual target, we can adjust that. So if they're all bent, but they're consistently bent, that's better than them being one in the ball and loads of like sporadic. You see what I mean? Because tight grouping means you can just shift where you're starting. Your aim point is basically off, and you need to adjust what your reference point aim is. And so it was just really interesting. And he kept saying this thing to us. He's like, don't grip the bow, right? Because you want to hold. So if you're right-handed, you pull with the right and you hold with the thing. He was actually like, just relax this. And I started doing this, like, almost feel like this is kind of Zen, you know? And by the end, like we did for like 2 hours, it was kind of like lift, back, release. Like it just, it's so therapeutic. The only thing I can compare it to is like being at the driving range when you get like 100 golf balls, you have your headphones in, and you just swing is just on point, and the ball is going straight. And you're like, man, you know, Tiger Woods. You got that feel.
You're like,
and,
bosh.
So yeah, man, bosh, man. And then I'll tell you what. So the plan was to go for a mixed grill. I was going to take Jamie to a mixed grill, right? Straight after archery. Go on. What do you want to say?
I have 1 point. You're supposed to tell me about
go on.
Jordan Peterson. So you need to bring that forward to this week. Because you dropped it at the end of last week.
You sure?
So wrap this story up, man.
We can save it.
No.
Jordan,
you tease listeners at the end of last week. You can't be doing this. They will get Gustav. I will get Gustav. They will too. Okay,
it's going to be a big segment. That's what you know.
That's a big segment. Oh, I don't know, man.
Okay, we were going to go. It is a big segment. JP's a big segment. So we were going to go to. We're going to take him to Garden Gate Pub for a mixed grill. He's quite excited. But I had booked a massage for a few hours down the line. Now, it wasn't a timing issue. Could have had the mixed grill easily. But I was like, if I go for a mixed grill, I'm going to stink. Possibility he may not be able to squeeze in his shower, number one. But even if I got the shower, the bigger risk after chili paneer is what? Tell me what the risk is after chili paneer, Indy. Tell me.
The pure gas and diarrhea that's about to erupt out of you.
Right, yeah. I mean, the diarrhea, that'd be that'd be really mean, man, if I had it on the table whilst having a massage. But chili, bud, hot air, stinky, right? Like, you know, she's doing the massage. You're obviously feeling relaxed. In a relaxed state, you start... Right? So I was like, Jamie, I can't risk ruining the relationship with the masseuse, right? So we are going to go for a safe Subway, right? We're going to go for a Subway, and we're going to park the mixed grill for another time. So, yeah.
Man, you live life on the edge, man.
And, follow-up point, right? Because remember we did that whole thing about the first time, and it's the same masseuse who does all the stretching.
Yes.
I knew the stretches were coming, right? So I anticipated the movement, the pathway, and I knew which way, so I didn't resist. I was like, no pain now. I know what you're doing. But she had new stretches, which I didn't know about, right? The most extreme being, we're at the end of the 90-minute, this is a 90-minute massage this time as well, not a 60-minute. So full works, right? And she's like, just sit up. I'm sitting up, leaning off the edge, kind of like a doctor examines a patient, that kind of position. So sitting up, leaning off. She's like, just straighten your back. I was like, that's fine. Got the head. Bang! Oh my God. As if my head is about to snap off. Cocked it all the way back, all the way forward, left, right. And I was like, yo, this goes out to the girl to the left. No. Ajamahi. Did not expect it, but I was like, I know all your stretches now. I know what's coming.
That is pain.
But, yeah. And the cold was just about setting in. So I'll tell you the worst thing. The worst thing, and the thing that kind of prohibited me from getting the best massage ever, was when I was face down, my nose became really blocked.
Aha!
And then I had to start mouth breathing.
I know this feeling.
What?
When I was in Bali getting my massage done, I felt that I couldn't breathe when she was doing the massage. I was like, can we stop? I need to blow my nose. Can we stop? I need to blow my nose. I need to cough.
Blow my nose. Right,
and she's sitting there like,
but have you
got
like
COVID? And I'm like,
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. She said to me as well, she's like, have you got the flu? I was like, no. It's just allergies. Yeah, you know, hay fever. So I put everything in there. But it wasn't COVID. But 1 second. So my nose is congested, and obviously, you got that hole.
Yes.
Right, where your face sits.
The donut.
I feel a drip come out of my nose. Drip come out of my nose. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit. And then I was at that point, I was like, I need to blow my nose. But I didn't even sound myself like, can I blow my nose, please? And
do you know what's the worst, right? The worst is when it's dripping out and you can't enjoy the massage. You're more like, I gotta try and like bring this back in, but I can't sniffle too much because it's getting annoying because she can hear it. It's ruining the sensation of the sound. But in your head, you're like, okay, I need to blow my nose. But I can't blow my nose too often because it's going to interrupt the flow. So what do you do? And in that moment, you blow like your life depends on it in that tissue, because you got that break now. You got to use this properly. You must blow into the tissue properly. Everything out. Then lie down and then hope for the best.
Everything. I was trying to make it to the point where she's done everything when I'm face down and I'm going to have to flip on the other side. I was like, if I can just make it to there. It's a natural point where I can blow my nose, and I did, and that was fine. But yeah, so overall, Archery went really well. Going again. Had a massage with new stretches, which nearly broke my bloody neck. And nose is congested. So that's what's happening with me.
You sound fantastic.
What's happening with you?
I've been getting over jet lag, bro.
Well.
I don't like it. Don't like jet lag.
Is it a real concept, jet lag? Is it a real concept?
Yes, it is.
Is it real?
Yes.
All right, explain to me what jet lag is. What is jet lag?
It's when your sleeping pattern's out of whack and you're hungry at weird times because you're used to being on a different pattern of time. That's what it is. So it's messing with me. I'm still, I think I'm relatively leveled out now, but it's still, like, I still wake up early. I go to sleep late, trying to regulate myself, still wake up early. And I'm still hungry
like
a lot in the day.
How early are you waking up?
No. I wake up about like
how early
5,
waking
6. Up? What do you mean hourly?
The normal is what?
What do you mean hourly?
No, I said, what's your normal?
My normal is normally about...
I didn't say hourly. Yeah.
When the alarm goes off, normally, like about 5-10 minutes prior, like I'll start waking up naturally.
No, what I'm saying is you said you're waking up 5:30, 6. What's your normal time to go to work, wake up time?
Like 7, 7:30, 8, depending on if I'm working from home.
Oh, okay. Because that, to me, 5:30, 6 sounds like a normal time to wake up.
No.
That's late. That's really early for you.
Yeah.
And you're sleeping what time?
Like 11, 11:30, 12 to try and get back to my normal pattern. Because I normally sleep at like 11:30, 12 to wake up at 8. So I normally get that like cycling. No, it's not happening, man. I think it's getting there now, but I'm hungry all the time. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm not normally like this.
But is that... No. You are, man. Like, we talked about this the other day.
No, but Karan, I can normally control my hunger, right? I'm normally like, I can... You know, if you don't eat for like a certain period and you get past that point of hunger and you're okay.
Yeah.
There was no getting past it. It's like it's always there. It's like, no, now. And I'm like, what's going on? Normally it's okay. Nope.
Taking the test. Take a test.
Take a test for what?
Pregnancy.
Idiot. Absolutely.
Fatty. Just keep eating, man. You keep eating.
I'm trying.
What test are you thinking?
I don't know. I was like, what test are you thinking? What? I got to take a COVID test now. See?
Where does that come from, man? The COVID doesn't make you eat, man.
I don't know, man.
Not COVID. Pregnancy.
Pregnancy. Me? Really? Well, there is an emoji on Apple now for a pregnant man. So anything's possible.
Is there?
Yes. I'm surprised you don't know this.
You have to send it to me. Did someone send it to you? Like, how do you know that?
Because Elon Musk trolled Bill Gates with it, saying you've got a did that looks like you're pregnant, and then he sent the emoji, and I was like, yeah, he does look like that.
He probably had it created so he could send it.
He probably did. Like, probably had a word with Apple, like hook me up. I got some trolling to do. Got some prime trolling to do. But yeah, tips for getting over jet lag. Just power through. Don't sleep on the sofa early. Don't lie on the sofa early like me and Sanj did and go to sleep at like 8:30, 9 and completely wreck your sink for like 3-4 days. Because the deeper you get set in this way of not getting out this jet lag, the harder it is to regulate yourself.
So people pre-napping, this is what Sanj calls it. Do not do it. It's khatra, okay? You get comfortable on that couch. There's no knowing what happens. Okay? Get your ass up, brush your teeth, and only sleep in the bed.
She does this all the time. She'll sit on the sofa and she'll get comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm snuggly. I don't want to move. And I'm like, okay, fine. Don't move. And then later on, she's falling asleep. And I'm like, okay, I know what's going to happen here. It's going to be bedtime.
Condone this behavior.
Hang on.
You're the enabler here.
No.
Yeah.
Bedtime, I'll wake you up. And I'll be like, time to go to sleep. And you're like, okay. She goes to clean her teeth, gets in bed. She's like, I'm wide awake now. I'm like, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Yours. I do my bedtime routine normally, but I fell into the trap. 8:30 on a Saturday, Sorry, on a Friday. Both fell asleep on the sofa, out cold. I mean, we were gone. There was no waking us.
Okay.
Delicious. Thank you for coughing in the listeners' ears. I really appreciate it. You know there's a mute button at the bottom, right? You can like press it and cough. Like I did last time.
Is it?
No. On the microphone. You know that button on the microphone you accidentally press?
Mute mic. Got it. Oh, no, but there is one on the actual screen.
Yeah, there is, but just press the mic button. Like, you know? It's there on the side.
I'll try now.
There you go. Now you know. See? Garen's coughing. Well done. See? There you go.
And now I'm back. Hello.
See? Look at that.
Hello,
Miracle.
Will.
It's like I've been doing it for weeks and I know about it.
Yeah. You are an enabler.
How am I an
So
enabler?
what you said is very selfish in that story there. You said she's there, she's comfortable, and then you went, but I've done my routine. I've done what I need to do. But you could have woken her up. You could have sprayed her in the face with Barney. You could have told her to be on the floor. But no, you're like, you do you. It's your responsibility.
No. I say you do you. It's your responsibility. But don't get in bed and moan to me that you're wide awake. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because this is your responsibility now. I told you to go and do your things a different way. You didn't want to do it. Thank you.
It's a force the issue.
What do you mean force the issue? What? Just yank the rajai off her?
Maybe, no, not that point, but maybe she's on the couch. She wants you to not let her fall asleep. Even though she's saying, let me fall asleep. It's like, in Dumbo, you watch Harry Potter, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You know the penultimate one, Half-Blood Prince? Half-Blood Prince.
Half-Blood Prince.
When Harry and Dumbledore are in that cave and Dumbledore has to drink that stuff, that poison, right? And he changes and he goes, Harry.
And he's like, I don't want to drink it.
Right, but you must make me drink it. This is the same scenario, right? When she tells you she wants to sleep on the couch and get comfortable, you tell her no. You say, listen, no. I'm going to spray you with this Barney gun, okay? Wake you up.
Barney gun?
But yes.
You mean a water bottle?
No. Barney gun is...
Water bottle.
No, not water bottle. It's not. A water bottle is what you drink. This is a water bottle. A Barney gun is... I'm looking at it now. It's like... You know what if you're giving Barney to indoor plants, the spray. That's what I'm on about. You know what I'm on about?
You mean something you wipe down surfaces with and you spray it and it's in that little thing?
Yeah. See, we don't use it for that. We only really use it for if you're ironing rather than using the iron Barney, or if we're doing it for the bug, for the pony. That's what we use it for. But yeah,
I can tell you do not clean at home if you don't know what that's used for. I guarantee your wife and
but we
mum
don't use that. We don't use that.
So when you spray down surfaces and clean surfaces, what do you put on the surface?
Yeah. No, that's Mr. Muscle. I'm just talking about like a Barney bottle. It's just got water in there. It's not cleaning. Obviously, you use like Mr. Muscle and all that kind of stuff to clean surfaces, but not that. The same thing, the same action though. Yeah. But just water.
Thank
just
God,
water.
man. I was about to judge you real quick. Yeah. I'd have been like, I'm not eating at Karan's house ever again, honestly.
Basically, we don't clean. What we do, we go, pook maar dena, clean ho gaya.
That's it. Blow the dust off.
Yeah. If you can't see it, it's no germ. Okay.
You
can't see it, no germ. Jaram. Not germ, jaram.
Disgusting. Of course it is, Jerem. No such thing, man.
Oh, I think I asked for that.
Alright, well that kind of ties into confessions.
Chal fir.
Kind of ties into confessions. Catch you in a sec.
Okay. Alright.
Confessions of a married man. Okay. I need to brace myself for this. Alright. Why do people have more than one alarm in the morning to wake them up? On a serious level. Why? It's not necessary. What's the need? It continues to rumble on and on and on. Say if you've got to get up at 7:30, your alarm starts going off at 6 and you're snoozing every 9 minutes. And the worst thing is when your phone says it's 6 o'clock. It's 6:09. It's 6:18. I'm like, woman, shut up. I don't want to know how much time there is. Let me live in my oblivious world where I think the alarm is going off and I think I still have plenty of time until mine goes off. That way, in my head, I'm not sitting here doing quick mathematics, figuring out how long I've got until my alarm goes off, and then I've got to get my ass out of bed.
That was quite a rant. You feel better?
Thank you. I feel so much better. Jeez. Thank you.
Okay. And who is this about, sorry?
Oh, I don't know, man. Who do you think it's about? This is Confessions of a Married Man, right? Clearly the person I'm married to.
The way you said that, you said... There's a bit in there where it sounded like you were angry at the phone. You're like, woman, you know, the phone that's saying it's 609. It's like you were angry at the person
I am.
in the phone
I am.
saying that as well.
Yeah.
As Sanj.
Why can't...
You're like, why is the person saying it so happy?
Yeah. Why can't the lady just not tell me the time? How about that? How about you just rumble and don't tell me the time? That way I can think, oh, you know, I got like another hour and a half to go. You know, it's all good. It's all good. Let me live in his sweet naivety. Nope. But Sanj, as you said earlier, is the enabler. My wife is the enabler. She keeps doing this because she's like, oh, I need to gradually wake up. And I'm like, this is not a nice sounding alarm. It's not gradually waking you up. It's like shaking you awake. It's loud. It's very loud, very intrusive.
Get up now, get up.
I wish it was like Mr. T. No, it's just really loud.
Pity the fool.
Yeah.
Okay, so she could change her alarm to have one that doesn't tell you the time. That's possible.
That might be a start, but she needs the time apparently so she can gauge how much time she has to wake up slowly.
Oh, it's just the reverse of you. She does the maths. She likes the maths. You don't like the maths.
Hate it. Absolutely hate it.
This is a difficult conundrum, but you and me are in the same boat. Shindy is exactly the same. She has multiple alarms, right? I used to be a 1 alarm guy, and now I'm a 2, but there's like 10 minutes in between. And that's mainly just for safety. I'm generally up with the first one, and I just have to cancel the second one when I'm brushing my teeth. But I'm like, it's just there. There's been very seldom occasions, I can probably count on one hand, where I have just completely slept through my alarms and then just called in sick to work. So that's happened. So I was like, okay, I need a safety alarm, right? So that's the only function of that one. As to the tune... Do you have like a standard iPhone tune?
She hasn't got an iPhone.
For your alarm?
Mine is a standard iPhone tune. Obviously, it's the worst sounding thing known to man. So when you're in the gym, there's some people that use that alarm in the gym first thing in the morning, and I'm like, you need to leave. You need to get the fuck out. Seriously, do not be giving me that sound when I'm in the gym in the morning, awake, and you're playing this sound to me. It's haunting. Don't do it. Change the sound or something. Also, why do you need a fucking alarm on your phone in the gym? Just use a stopwatch. Why do you need the fucking utchiness of it? What's the need? Just look at the time. It's not
I feel like you're really angry today.
I'm angry at alarms, man. I fucking hate how people just can't use one alarm. It's too much for me. It's way too much for me. It hurts me inside.
Wow, this is a real... Is it what the girls call ick? Is this an ick for you?
This is a big ick, man. This is a big ick.
Ick, isn't it? Oh
this
my
is
god.
Ick and a half.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, alarms in gyms, yeah. And obviously you've been conditioned to that particular sound, so obviously it's messing with your head, man. You're like, no.
Yeah.
Okay. And I find there are some alarms, right, the tune is just so overly happy.
Yes.
Right? Do. That Apple one. And I'm like,
it's not necessary.
Why? Like, you just, the phone is there and you're like, no. I've become so skilled now, right? Like, in the closed eye position, Shindy's phone, wherever it may be, I can just get to it, deactivate it, swipe, like, just without looking now, right? You just know. I'm turning the shit off, right? Develop that level of skillty. Yeah, alarms. I think you may need to sleep separately. I mean, that could be a
thing, you know.
Could be a thing, or you could have earpods to block sound, but then your alarm can't be based on sound. It needs to like be alarm that. No, not AirPods. Like what people put in, like, you know, when you're shooting at a range. Like the.
Oh, you mean like
earplugs? What are they called? Earplugs. Earplugs. That's the word. Yeah. Have some of those, but then your alarm couldn't be a sound-based alarm. You'd need something that maybe shakes you or something. Or starts like, you know,
like
doing
a bed
something
that
on your head to
shakes
wake you up or something. Yeah. Or given the fact that Sanj is up, she could just wake you up. What about Sanj? Can Sanj wake you up? Do you need an alarm?
My problem isn't with... No. I don't have a problem with my alarm. I can handle it. One alarm, you know what? You're doing your job. Fair play.
But I mean, in the solution of, if you've got something in your ears to cancel the sound of her alarm, she is now awake. you're not going to hear your alarm. Can she then wake you up? Would that work?
Potentially, but I've
Could you try
tried
that?
this.
Could you try it for the listeners and let
I've
us know?
tried these earplugs life, and they come out because my ears are a weird shape. You know. Yeah. None of that
okay.
straightforward.
How about the AirPods?
So I tried AirPods when I was on holiday, just in general. I fell
You know-
asleep with AirPods in my ear and I woke up in the morning
go on.
and I was like,
Yeah.
why do I feel like there's something underneath me? And it's because they obviously come out and you sleep on them. And I was like, well, there's a risk of breaking them. That's not worth it.
Okay. But I think...
I've tried and errored, Karen.
Yeah, no, I think the listeners would love to hear about this in the constant trials and tribulations. Try something else, experiment, bring the results back next week, and let's see. What could Sanj do? What can you do for Sanj? So who's actually out of bed first?
Give
who's
her one alarm.
No, but she's not going to go to that. It's too extreme for her.
It varies from day to day. Some days it's me, some days it's her.
Okay. You're on your own, my friend.
I think
Separate-
if I give
separate
her one
sleeping.
alarm
Yeah.
or one alarm, problem solved.
Yeah, but if that was the case, you would have done it by now. That doesn't take us to talk about it for 10, 15 minutes to work out.
Right,
Alright.
that's me done. I'm happy.
That's your
now.
confession,
Tell me
right?
about
Here's my
yours.
confession. So I went to a recent wedding. Okay?
That's my confession.
That's your confession. I went to a recent wedding and I noticed a lot of women with tattoos. And then I quickly realized how much of a ick, we'll go with that word, a turn off that was for me. And I think previously we've spoken about hands and feet and the level at which that is a good parameter reflection of a lady's cleanliness and, various other things. For me, right? For me. But I just find, I guess the other thing is when you're at an Asian wedding, it's very rare that you're going to see a man's tattoo. Generally, men, when they have their tattoos, it's going to be on their arms. If they're wearing full sleeve shirt, suit, whatever, it's rare that you're going to see it, right? Maybe if it's on their arm, like a half t-shirt, you'll see it, but it's kind of maybe more accepted. But when I see women with tattoos, I don't know, man. For me, it's just like, this is just too vulgar, man. Maybe this is just me being sexist or just very traditionalist.
Vulgar. Fucking hell, Jesus.
Yeah. I just don't know, man. Like something in my brain was just like, why have you got a tattoo there, man? Like it's not giving the right vibes. You're not giving elegant vibes.
Wait, hang on.
Go.
There's a distinction here. Okay.
There is obviously, yes.
Right, okay.
Go.
I'm trying to save you here. Okay. Just let me rescue you from the depths of never being welcome in our flat ever again. Because Sanj has 3 tattoos.
We
All
pre-talked
Okay.
about this, didn't we? We
So-
pre-talked about it. Yeah, there's a difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. All right. Okay. Were they shit tattoos? Because nowadays there's this new movement where people have like random shitty tattoos with like little cactus or like target sign. I'm like, what's the point? You look like a fucking dickhead. It looks like somebody just drew it on you in your sleep, and you're like, oh, it's there now. No. Get it done properly, innit? Have like a proper decoration, layout, whatever.
Okay. Good point. The one
That's
I've
the thing.
particularly got in my head right now was a girl, had it behind her neck here, right, at the base, kind of where the top of David Beckham's angel sits, right? So there, and it was like,
Yes,
the
the
in
angel
physics,
wings, yes,
the
yes.
infinity sign. It was like that. And it was super dark. And yeah, you're right, actually. That is a good point. If you're looking at a tattoo and you can't really understand it, okay, some are obviously personal, but you're just like, what is that, man? Like, did you just on a drunk night out?
Some
It's
are
like
personal.
random. Yeah, some personal, fine. Had no color. I guess you're right. If you have color, it maybe adds a bit more to it. And I've just figured out something else. While you were saying that, here's the other thing I figured out. It's if the rest of your ensemble, if you're not put together well, right? So if the rest of your outfit isn't on point, everything else
What
is
do you
on
mean
point.
by that?
No, like, again, when I'm looking at a lady who's dressed up at a party, for me, there's a certain level of dressing. Same for men. Same absolutely for men. There are men who come with like ties which are on the right length, wrong color shoes, wrong length of sleeve. I'm very particular when it comes to people, the way they dress.
What did the woman do wrong, Karen? What did she not wear properly?
I can't remember the specifics, but as in, for me, the suit was not this is a premium function, right? We're not that close, but we've, made sure we look good. This is a close person. I think it was a Mussy, young Mussy, and just did not have, just like, are you on a night out? Like, do you think you're clubbing? Like, you think you're cool because you're showing your tit and your belly button and you're piercing and your tit? I was like, it's not appropriate, man. Like, what are you doing? And so I think you're right. It was the combination of that, the way you're acting, the way it's everything, you know. I don't think it's just a tattoo. I've just figured this out. It's the combination of everything.
Right. So if you put that tattoo on someone elegantly dressed up,
would I have an issue?
With the right suit, with the right layout of how they present themselves, and they've got that same tattoo, do you have a problem?
It's a good question. It's hypothetical. I think I have much less of an issue. I don't think it's a nick for me then. But
there you go. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad we worked through that.
It was a bigger issue. It ain't tattoos. It was a bigger issue for you.
It was the whole ensemble.
It was, this isn't working for you. And this is also the cherry on top of not working for you. You now look even worse.
The iceberg. Yeah.
The ice? You mean the icing on the cake?
No, not the icing on the cake. It's tip of the iceberg. That's what I was trying to get to. There was so much more.
Oh, tip of the iceberg. Okay.
But you're right. I think that became the most obvious. That was the thing I
yes.
fixated on. I was like, what is that? Why do you have that? What are you trying to say and project with that? Right? And then you do the rest of the bonded behavior, and I'm just like, no.
See, sometimes I like asking people, why'd you get that tattoo? And if they have a reason behind it, my like feeling towards it changes completely. Like some people have like a random leaf on them. And I'm like, can I ask about the tattoo? And they're like, yeah, I got it done when I was on holiday here. I really like the place. It brings me a memory of it. I said, cool, respect. I understand that now. Initially, I just thought, what's the point? Right? But now I'm like, oh, okay, you wanted that for you. So it was something that meant something to you because you went to a place and you saw something like that. That's different. If you have a random infinity sign in your head and you're like, what does that mean? And you're like, oh, I just like it. I'm like, okay. I might look at you funny.
To infinity and beyond.
Yeah, I might think like, is this a Toy Story? I'm going to give you as much leeway as possible. Like, is it linked to Toy Story? Do you like physics? Are you into black holes? Like, yeah, I'll be like asking. I'll be giving you as much give as I can for you to tell me something. And if you ain't telling me nothing, I can't help you, man. I'm just going to be like, nope, sorry, can't do this conversation. Like Piers Morgan on that TV show when he walked off after being grilled. I'll be like that. Can't do this. Sorry. Gotta go.
Lovely.
Thank you.
So that is my confession for this week. Yes.
Well, there we go. I'm glad that you're now going to be welcome back in the flat and you don't have a problem with tattoos per se. It's the package.
Per se, no.
That's the problem. The package.
It's the package, how you carry it. Yeah, absolutely.
Boom. All right. Jump into the next part.
Lovely.
Okay, doctor. Tell me about the chronicles of your life.
The Chronicles of the Doctor. So, I had something prepared. I'm going to supersede that with something that's happening to me right now. You can hear it in my voice. I am not my usual sexy, deep doctor voice that you've come so accustomed to hearing. We had one listener reach out and said, well, I had a lovely bedside manner. At the moment, I just don't feel like myself. I hear myself speak. I'm like, who is this speaking?
That compliment.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't give you that compliment because I knew you would cling on to it and it goes straight to your head.
No, to be fair, it's not something I've not heard before. I've heard it a lot of times. So it's not being cocky. I know what I'm good at and I'm good at communicating. So it is what it is, man. A kunda is a kunda, man. This bottle is red. There's nothing cocky about saying the bottle is red. You know what I mean? So here's what it is.
Wow.
That's it, bro. Don't come at me. So, but yeah, it's weird, man, when your voice isn't your voice. And I always know that is always for me the beginning of the cold. So I had this wedding last week. It was in London. Had to wake up at 4 a.m. to get there. We'll talk about the wedding another day and how the timings overran massively. But yeah, so I start getting this kind of sharp feeling right in the throat, and I'm like, it's coming. Friday reception, fine, coffee fueled,
glass, swallowing glass.
Yeah, exactly that. Saturday, had a line, meeting got cancelled. I was like, oh, okay, I'm okay. Went for dinner at in-laws' house, went to the Goose Fair, which is like a fair. Went on a few rides. Oh my God, when we were there, man, just side story. You know the revolvers, but like at a fair where they can actually spin you even more. Well, on that, and Shindy's like, faster.
You mean a teacup?
No, teacup is what you call it when it's just nice and gentle. Revolver is like, remember Drake Man, the black revolver? But yeah, it's a teacup, but it goes really fast.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But at these, it's like unregulated, these kind of like, these random places.
Yes, they
So
are.
the guy just kept spinning it, man. Yeah. And I just came off and I was like disoriented. My back was hurting. But side point, didn't need that. And then Sunday, go on, question.
Never go on those fucking rides. I've seen too many fails and too many things going wrong. I've seen the big swing ride that goes like round in a circle up to the top and then back around.
Coming down like this.
Sometimes they're not. Yeah, sometimes they're not bolted to the floor properly, and they're not even bolted down at all. So you see people running down to pull down the ride to stop it from toppling over. When I saw that, I'm like, I'm never going on one of those fucking rides again, ever. I don't care. I don't care if a kid will cry and go into a fucking fit in case on the floor. I don't care. You can sob all you want. I'm not costing your life for the sake of this ride, right? No, it's not happening.
Right. So, question then: we're going to Winter Wonderland.
Mm-hmm.
So not going to go on the rides.
Winter Wonderland's regulated, Karan. A pop-up fair is not
there you go. Look
very
at
different.
This is premium because in London it's premium. Okay.
No, it's not premium.
London.
There's some in London that are random pop-up fair stores that I wouldn't go to either. Winter Wonderland is regulated. It's like a real set
stamp.
health and safety checks. Every year it returns. I'm like, you ain't cutting corners, all right? There you go.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a side point. But Saturday, like I said, during the massage, man, that's when I was like, oh man, oh daddy, main ho gaya hoon. And then the fever starts. So guys, it's that time of year, okay? It's going around hospitals, going around everywhere. I've got it. I gave it to Shindy. She's not very happy about that. I was at work today. More people had it. So now the cold is not like the flu, okay? The flu is much worse. That's the first thing to understand. So I remember both the cold and the flu are viral illnesses, as is COVID. So there is no role for antibiotics. Big misconception. Got a lot of people coming to hospital. I want antibiotics. I'm not getting any better. The simple thing is, and here's the thing about antibiotics, right? Antibiotics are only doing what your body would already do or is doing otherwise. Okay? So antibiotics are simply to expedite what your body's doing. In the case of a bacterial infection, the reason we give the antibiotics is if we allowed your body to fight it, maybe you wouldn't survive. That's basically it, right? So we think you're not going to be able to buffer, and we need to accelerate that, expedite it, give you antibiotics. Now, in the case of viral infection, virus, there is no role for it. So, what can you do? Well, obviously, each year get your flu jab. Okay, so that's trying to cover the most prevalent strain. Obviously, for the common cold, there is nothing you can do per se, apart from the preventive measures to not get it from someone. If you think someone's infected, irrespective of what you think the infection is, do all the stuff you just learned during the pandemic, man. Keep away from them. Tell them to put a mask on. Put a mask on yourself if you want. Wash your hands regularly.
Social distancing, mask up, wash your hands, don't touch your face, walk away.
It's all the same.
Run away. Yeah. Isolate for 2 weeks. Don't talk to your family. Disappear off the face of the earth. And then re-emerge, okay?
Don't talk to your family. That's the key one, okay?
There you go.
Yeah, it's not sexy medicine, but it makes a lot of sense. It's very practical medicine, practical advice. People just need to follow it. That's prevention. If you do start having the symptoms, right, when you're coughing, sneezing, into there, not on the hands. If you're going to do the hands, fine, but then go and wash them, right? Yeah, exactly, like that. It's what we call the vampire sneeze or vampire cough. Blow your nose, the whole, what was it, sneeze it, catch it, bin it, or whatever that slogan is that the government always goes on about. But the same thing, same sort of principle. Expect much higher temperatures in a viral illness. So normal temperature in a person, let's say, is up to 37.4. When you have an infection, so it can be over about 37.8, which is a low-grade fever. 38, we start saying, this is a respectable temperature. But the kind of the 41s that we see, the really high temperatures, that tends to be viral infections, right? Now, the key thing, the big push in the NHS from the government is, do you have signs of sepsis? Do you need to get in the hospital? Sepsis is the big thing. So what is sepsis? Right. Any infection in the body, so common sites for infection are chest infection and a urine infection, the most common sites for infection, if left untreated, or if the person has a weakened immune system because they have chronic disease or they have something else or they're elderly, if it manages to spread from its primary location, so a chest infection that's not just in the chest now, spreads to the bloodstream and it starts affecting your whole body and your whole body starts responding like the infection's everywhere, we call that sepsis. Okay? So sepsis is when your body goes completely berserk, right? Overdoes it with its response. in the aims to combat the infection. And some of that's useful, some of that's not useful. Okay, that's what we call sepsis. Generally, the things we get concerned about and we tell people at home is if you've got, if you're extremely short of breath, high temperatures that lead you to shake and shiver, which we call rigors, when you get the chills, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, right? If you've got a rash, so skin infection, that is spreading, that just keeps spreading. I've said about the breathing already. If you've got what we call an altered consciousness, so if you start feeling drowsy, or if your family starts saying, mate, you seem really confused, this is not like normal, you're really sharp, especially for a young person, then you need to come in and we need to screen you and make sure you haven't got sepsis. Because as soon as you hit the hospital, what we then have is what we call the golden hour. We have 6 things that we need to do within an hour that massively improve the outcome when it comes to the management of sepsis. So that you don't become even more unwell if it is that. Okay? And those 6 things that we do are we give 3 and we take 3. And that's how we teach it at medical student level. So the 3 things we need to give, remember it's all in the context of 1 hour, is give some broad spectrum antibiotics. So high level shit, right? So in hospitals, for us, that's normally tazocin or augmentin or comoxiclav, high level. Broad spectrum meaning it's like domestos, it can fight most things. Ultimately, what we want to do Ultimately, what we want to do to prevent antibiotic resistance is use the most appropriate antibiotic for the right bug, right? And that's always why you'll see a doctor saying, if we've got something, let's culture it. So if you're bringing up phlegm, I want a sample. I want to see what bugs are in there. If you're burning and stinging when you pass water, give me a sample, right? So I want to take, if you've got something I can swab, so like an ulcer, let me take a swab. I want to see if I can grow a specific bug and then give you the most targeted therapy. So we're not using our broad spectrum stuff on everything, because eventually what will happen is these germs will evolve, and they'll evolve, and it means that those antibiotics, so this is what we talk about down the line, 3-4 generations, those guys will have common infections and we won't have antibiotics to treat them with. That's
so
where the whole
antibiotic
argument comes in.
resistance
Is a real thing, yes. So, like I said, what were we talking about in the podcast? I was saying like, oh yeah, we talked about it. So there are some countries where you can just buy antibiotics without prescription. How bloody dangerous is that?
Last week.
Right? Then you got people taking antibiotics for like a virus. Oh, I've got coronavirus, so I'll just have a bit of this. I've got a cold, so I'll have some antibiotics. I'm not getting better. Why am I not getting better? Because it's not bloody working, isn't it? Right. So give some broad spectrum antibiotics. Give oxygen if required. So if you're hypoxic, low oxygen levels, give some oxygen, a very simple measure. Give some fluid. So as you experienced when you were ill, what did you do in the night? You sweated, right? In a day, a normal person who's not ill will lose about 1.5 liters of fluid in perspiration. So breathing.
Nice.
Sweat that you can't see. Standard. Everybody, right? In heightened states of infection, as you saw when your bed sheets are drenched, you're losing 3-4 liters. So most likely, this person whose query now has sepsis is going to be dehydrated. Coupled with that, what happens to your appetite when you're unwell? You do not feel like eating, right? So you don't feel like eating, so you're not taking it, and you're losing it, right? You're going to be dehydrated. So give oxygen, give fluids, give antibiotics. Those are the 3 that you give. Take 3. So we want to measure the urine output. So the urine output is a great indicator for how well your body is. Obviously, if you don't produce urine, that's a bad thing. Okay? Urine is obviously there to get rid of all toxic things. If it accumulates, bad things can happen to you. So we want to measure how much that is. Now, at its most simple level, we can give you like a urine bottle if you're a man and say, look, every time you pee into that, and we measure it. At the more kind of a sort of a intrusive level, it's pop a catheter in, so we can measure hourly how much urine you're making. What we aim for when we measure is 0.5 ml per kg per hour. So a 70 kilogram man, average man, 35 mils of urine per hour is the minimum I would expect your body to produce. Okay, so that's one thing we take, as it were. Second thing is what we call a blood culture. So we talked about taking cultures from other places, but if that infection is in the bloodstream, I want to see what bug is that, so I can again target the therapy. And the third thing is what we call a lactate. So it's a specific type of blood test. So you'll remember from biology, even at kind of secondary school level, Indy, there's aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Okay, so in states of sepsis, when your body's going berserk, what can happen is you can have too much anaerobic respiration. Lactate can then be. This isn't completely medically accurate because the medical reasoning is slightly more complicated, but this is kind of what we're trying to see is what we're trying to measure is the most vulnerable parts of the body Okay, what we call the end organs, so your heart, your kidney, your brain, how well are they being perfused? How well are they receiving blood? That's what we're trying to see. What's the perfusion like? The way to measure that with a surrogate marker is this number called the lactate. High lactate, those organs aren't being perfused, need to get some more fluids in there. Lactate normal, I'm less worried, I've got time. So those are the 6 things. We have the golden hour, and we have to attack people with the 6 things. So if you're ever concerned, and you'll hear, if you call it 999, they'll ask you these symptoms because they're screening for the same thing. Could this be sepsis? Could this be sepsis? We don't want to miss sepsis. We get in early, good result. You don't get in early, can lead to sort of you becoming very, very unwell and needing kind of ITU and lots of other kind of high level things.
Jesus.
So there you go.
Damn, bro, that's a lot. All right, so to sum up, sepsis, signs of sepsis. Go.
So sepsis, any infection that's untreated that goes into the bloodstream, body goes into overdrive, we call that sepsis. Okay. Signs of sepsis, so shortness of breath, shivering, rigors or chills through your body, basically going hot and cold, altered conscious level. Those are the big ones I would think about.
And is it true if you call 999 and you tell them, or they think it's sepsis, do they turn a different light on to get to you, or is there a different ambulance that gets dispatched to you?
I think, yes, the category for sepsis is higher. You've got to obviously know to say that, though. Look, obviously, there are some people who play the game and they know, like saying chest pain, for example. Obviously, the ultimate kind of you're going to get an ambulance now is if you say cardiac arrest, so, you know, if someone's dead, then obviously that's going to be the quickest response there is, and you probably get 2 ambulances.
I think there's a different light that comes on when it's sepsis, or they dispatch a different type of ambulance. That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true.
I don't think so. You can ask Sanj.
I'll ask my wife.
There's no different light. There's a blue light. There's either there's a light or there's no light. Yeah, definitely ask Sanj. But there's no special light for sepsis. When we send ambulances, we'll either say blue light or non-blue light. That's all we'll say. Do you need flashy? You don't need flashy.
Flashy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Flashy, baby. The jams. And yeah, I guess the final point, guys, is keep it simple, right? Like, we've just come through a pandemic. Cold, flu, COVID is back, by the way. So I'm seeing a lot of COVID cases now. So just be sensible. Don't be lax. Do the simple things well. Get your jabs, get your vaccines, and just crack on. That's it. Yeah. Lovely.
I don't have a question this week, but Karan has a question.
Yeah.
So please, proceed.
I do have a question for you. So, what is, Indy, a confinement lady or a confinement center? And I'll give you a clue because it's a bit abstract, isn't it? It's in the context of pregnancy. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say, pregnancy.
Confinement assumes... Sorry, saying the word confinement makes me assume someone's being held against their will. So you're holding women against their will before pregnancy is due, before baby is due.
I love it. I love how there's such a negative connotation with confinement, the word. And because like when he said it to me, this person's... Yeah. So when he said it to me at work, I was like, bro, using the right word. He's like, no. So my friend is a doctor. He's from Malaysia. And basically, he's just become a dad, right? And so I was like, how's your wife?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. She's at the confinement center. Well, he's like, she's a confinement lady. I was like, what? I was like, you just like got rid of her or something. I was like, what? He's like, oh, yeah. He goes in Malaysia, a very common thing. So ladies have babies, obviously. Baby's born.
Ladies have babies.
Ladies! Yeah. Right, up to a 3-month period, they go to these centers, basically, which are equipped with women who help ladies with that transition. And so they're in this environment.
That's mad.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good concept. And now he goes, it's grown so much that they actually have doctors in there as well. So doctors do like health checks and they get access to all these things and help with breastfeeding, help with so many different things in that first 3-month period before they come home fully. And it's just the accepted thing there.
That's a really good idea.
Right? I was just like, because then I thought about, well, what do we have in Punjabi culture or Asian culture? It's kind of like the concept where, you know, the lady, your wife's mum, maybe comes and stays with you, and there's like kind of a helping period.
You have a mother-in-law and a mother. That's it.
Yeah. But no.
So have. It's passed on.
Yeah, it's passed on. Yeah. So we have that kind of concept. to help in that transition period, but nothing formal like a confinement lady in a confinement center. And I was really impressed. I was like, wow, we're clearly really far behind. I'm thinking about having a nanny and stuff. I was like, I need a confinement center. I was like, this is a good
You need a
little business
confinement
venture.
center so she can have everything that she needs. Hang on, so
Yeah.
does that mean the kid doesn't come home for the first 3 months?
Yeah, I didn't follow up with that. I think he does, or they do. But maybe it's like maybe it's set up in a way where it's like a day visit type thing. So I remember when we were in psychiatry, there were patients who were.
Oh, so you take the baby there for the day.
No, I'm thinking maybe. Yeah, it's like a day visit thing, and you go back, but you're there most of the day each day. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that. I don't know. But probably you can't stay nights because night would be a difficult time as well if they're not settling or not feeding or keep crying and things. But yeah, I don't think it's not like a prison sentence, like they're going to be locked in for 3 months. But yeah, confinement. Maybe it needs rebranding, doesn't it? This word. I feel like the local word.
That word definitely needs
the
to
local
rebrand,
word
yes.
probably doesn't have that connotation, say in Malaysia, but the translated word closest to it is confinement. But confinement in English has a negative connotation, but I think their word is probably like, yeah, this is normal.
I think it's like a literal translation that must have come about as a result of that, because that doesn't sound correct.
Doesn't sound nice, does it? Yeah. But there you go.
No, sounds really bad.
Yeah, have you got any thoughts about when you have a nipper at some point, like what's going to happen in that transition period? Or?
A nipper? What the fuck's a nipper?
Oh, a word that you haven't heard that I have heard of. This is brilliant. So a little nipper is just another word for little baby. Nipper. It's got nothing to do with nipples.
What are they calling him a nipper for?
It's just a thing. It's like a,
Yeah, exactly. You see my face? I'm like,
yeah, I don't want that. It's like clothes horse, isn't it?
so Indy, when you gonna get a little nipple? I was like, so no, man, I got 2 already, bro. Right?
Love it. Let's.
Fuck, you think I need another
All right,
nipple
guys,
for?
let's put this into a snippet. Indy wants a nipple. That's it, inside. Nipper, little
Yeah,
nipper,
sure, clearly.
little nipper.
When I get a little kid, geez, imagine like I can buy him in the corner shop.
Yeah, I got a little kid. Yeah.
Yeah, confinement center, maybe. No, I think the question is more for you because you're more immediate to have a kid. How would you feel about Shindy being attended to by other doctors when you're a doctor yourself?
No, don't be silly, man.
With medical needs with your child?
Don't be silly. This is a great example where pride is not useful here. I have no knowledge when it comes to babies. Zero. My friends will ask me shit, and I'm like, listen, baby physiology, human, adult physiology, completely different.
Human physiology. They're not human
They're not
kids.
human yet.
All right.
So yeah, they ask me shit, and I'm like, I don't know. I was like, are you worried? If you're worried, go to the hospital, man. Like that's as much as I can offer. I was like, I don't know what's normal. I can ask my friend who works in peds. That's probably it, right? So yeah, I've got no problem.
Oh, that's it.
Pediatrics.
Give me the word pediatrician.
Yeah, pediatrician works in pediatrics. Nothing.
That doesn't sound like it.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a nice job. I couldn't imagine attending to poorly kids all the time. That would be heartbreaking shit.
Yeah, I've only done a little bit of peds.
But
people who do it love it. Like they're really.
I
really
do have to
invested.
ask.
Yeah.
What age do kids become human, Karan?
Yeah.
That's the question.
That is the question. I think when they can have an intelligent conversation, they can debate Jordan Peterson level stuff. Then for me, they are human. So.
Jordan Peterson level stuff. You need to relax, man.
Oh no. I don't know, man. That was obviously a.
In which case, Karan, there's some fully fledged adults that we know that ain't fucking human. All right.
That's true. That is very true. Yeah, they could be on the spectrum of the species. But yes, so I think the key thing to take away here is so confinement. It's got nothing to do with being held against your will, and a nipper is not a nipple, and it means little butcher.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm really glad to hear that.
There you go, matey.
Happy?
Happy. Happy.
All right. People, catch you next week. Please do comment, message us.
Next week,
Let us know
live in
thoughts.
person. Woo!
Oh, yeah, shit. it is.
Yeah,
Oh, I forgot about
buddy.
that. Yeah, in person. It'll be nice and clean. Actually, I would say you got any questions, but by the time you submit them and this comes out, we would have done it in person. So maybe not. However, if you do have something you want us to
Cover.
speak about, rant about, chat about. If you've got confessions as a married man,
Right.
why don't you let us know?
Or
and
lady.
we can cover them.
Or lady, because
How about that?
we want to hear it from maybe the other side.
Or
and
lady.
maybe you want to be anonymous,
Yeah,
but
to be
we'll
fair,
discuss
ladies
it.
as well, because yeah, ladies, tell us yours because we can relate. Like, yeah, I could see a guy doing that. That makes sense. I'd do that. Yeah,
That's
That's
really
it, there you
good.
go.
Guys, submit yourself.
shout out to the people that got this far.
If you
And
have
didn't click off.
Good. If you have medical
Didn't
questions, ask me. Are there things that you don't understand about your conditions? Are there things you just don't understand about your medications? Ask the question. I will tell you the answer. If I know, if it's to do with humans, I will tell you the answer. Not babies.
And if he doesn't know, he'll do the same thing that you did, which is Google it. But he will simplify that answer. Instead of WebMD telling you you're dying, he'll be like, you're not going to die. Okay. You are dying at some point, but you're not going to die right now.
Not today. I'm not going to die today.
Because WebMD is one of the scariest things in the world. When you type it in, your condition, you go to the bottom and it says, if left untreated, can result in sudden death. And I'm like, cheers, thank you.
These websites, the thing, you know what it is? It's the calibration. That's what pisses me off. This is a rant for another day. But the bastard thing was like, oh, you might have, this condition, which is like a basic thing. Or you might have like cancer, which is like spread everywhere and you're going to die. It's like, bro, there's a big difference between this and this, man. It's like, you can't put it on the same page, like one sentence down. Like, oh, you might have this, don't worry. Oh, yes, you could die if you don't tell the doctor. It's like, no, come on, man. Everybody comes in like, oh, I read this on this thing. Yeah. I thought I had this. Yeah. Like, no, bro. No context. No calibration. Bullshit. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, and that's a clip. All right. Catch you guys next week in a bit.